Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be sharing a new chapter of the book my my American cousin Antonietta wrote, and this chapter is dedicated to a mother, and I want to share this story, this touching story with you. Here is the story. My mother. My mother was incapable of experiencing joy and lived her entire life in a world without happiness or fun. No matter the occasion, holidays, birthdays, or small victories, her expression never revealed any joy. Happiness seemed like a language that, she had never learned. Being around her felt like spending time in a cancer hospital, stressful and suffocating. Growing up in such an environment stripped me of my sense of security and self-worth. It bred a deep-seated anger within me, anger towards my parents, my surroundings, and even towards myself. Although much of my childhood is a blur, the fragment I do remember are anything but pleasant. Throughout my childhood, my mother consistently expressed a haunting wish that I had never been born. Despite having completed a family with my two brothers and a sister, my father yearned for another daughter. From the very beginning, it felt as though my presence was a source of disappointment for her. My mother frequently told me she never loved me. She even suggested that the midwife who delivered me should have choked me to death. As a child, her cruel words pierced my soul, leaving me to grapple with the feeling of worthlessness. As a devoted mother of two, I poured my heart into smothering my kids with constant love and affection. Her cruel comments felt like daggers, causing me deep pain. Despite the emotional struggle, my mother was extremely generous. I always had the things I wanted and needed, money in my pocket, and plenty to eat. Each time I left the house, she placed a $100 or $50 bill in my hand. She was also extremely generous with her 10 grandchildren. There was never a kind of a supportive word for her children, and their relentless struggle with depression and anger made her unbearable to be around. Ironically, as the youngest, I bore the brunt of her harshness. I've always embraced a joyful perspective on life, striving to uplift those around me. As the class clown, I found that humor was a powerful tool for navigating challenges. While my mother struggled to understand my happiness, I remained committed to shining my light and celebrating the joyous moments in life. One afternoon, while I was playing with the neighbor's kid, a bully relentlessly taunted me by calling me Bones. Being painful thin made me feel self-conscious and miserable, so I returned home in tears, That's when my mum stepped in. Even though she was only 5 feet 2 inches tall, she had a strong presence that instilled fear in others. With unwavering determination, she confronted the bully, picked up a catcher's mitt from the grass, and in a single powerful strike to his face, sent him crashing into the bushes. After that day, he never dared to call me Bones again. My mum was incredibly fearless and strong. Growing up, and it was nothing like the idealizing life of Ozzy and Harriet. One vivid memory that comes to mind is Christmas in 1967. When I was just 6 years old, my father bought a record player, and my face lit up excitement because I've always had a passion for music and couldn't wait to play vinyl records. However, my mom thought it was too expensive and became extremely upset, ruining Christmas for everyone. I remember trying to comfort her as she sat in the kitchen crying. As a mother myself, I can't help but wonder how she could have been so thoughtless. She didn't seem to care about the impact a reaction would have on her children, especially on Christmas Day. Sorry. Picture growing up in a home that offers 7 meals a day, yet I still found it nearly impossible to gain weight as someone tall and painful thin. I felt an overwhelming desperation for solution. I turned to 3,000 calorie shake I found from infomercial, convinced they would finally help me. Yet, despite my effort, my fast metabolism continued to stand in the way of my goals. It was a relentless struggle that many do not understand. My teenage years felt like a battle. I dreaded the moment I had to face the mirror. I often found myself wishing, God, please make me beautiful. Life would be so much easier if I had beauty on my side. Since I was young teen, I longed to belong to the elite group of beautiful people, the popular kids, the cheerleaders, the prom queens. I firmly believe that beauty is a form of power. With beauty comes confidence, and what confidence and that confidence naturally draws others in. The worst beating ever. On New Year's Eve in 1980, I stepped out with friends, revealing drinks and a little bit of a pot. In that moment of carefree indulgence, I had no idea I was about to make a crucial mistake by coming home after curfew. As I quietly turned the key in the lock, a wave of dread swept over me, and I silently hoped that everyone was sound asleep. The dim light in my room cast a shadow that revealed my mother's figure standing there like a panther ready to pounce. The weight of that moment still haunts me. Her presence was both a threatening warning and a chilling reminder of the consequences that loomed ahead. When she turned on the light, I saw her, belt shining and the fury boiling in her eyes. What followed was a brutal attack. She beat me mercilessly, punching and biting my arms, drawing blood, and relentlessly striking my me with the belt. The piercing crack of the leather slicing through the air echoed painfully in my ears. Remarkably, she never struck my face, likely because she knew the teacher would notice the marks. But let's face it, it was the 70s, and no one truly cared. In that chaotic moment, I was overwhelmed, and she knocked me unconscious, though I have no memory of how long I lay there, lost in darkness. I had been beaten so many times, then I became emotionally numb. This beating felt like an eternity. All I could focus on was the incredible Hulk poster on my wall. I quickly ran down the street to the police station to report her. The officer at the window was indifferent to my suffering as I made my way home, my arms and back aching with every step. Yet I held back my tears, determined not to give in to the pain of each beating. Through it all, I forged an unbreakable resilience, developing and remarkably thick skin. I refused to let my mother see my tears. I didn't give her the satisfaction of seeing my cry. I want to detail every instance of abuse as it was too often and too painful to revisit. Still, I'll share one striking memory. Sorry. I was once struck across the back with a piece of aluminium siding and remembered that the pain was unbearable. There is another deeply troubling incident I must mention, and this will be my final example. While clearing the dinner table, I absent-mindedly tossed the butter into the refrigerator. When my mother reacted, it shocked me. She hit me in the temples with both fists. I remember feeling the room spin and almost passing out. In the late 1970s, I remember an incident involving my sister and our dad. They were having a disagreement, and in the heat of the moment, my sister said, "Fuck you." My father picked up a very heavy wooden chair and attempted to bash it over her head. I quickly grabbed the legs of the chair and diffused the whole situation. Looking back on it now, I wish he had gone through with it. It's terrible. The cycle of abuse finally came to an end. Each time I sensed a beating was imminent, fear would overwhelm me, often causing me to wet my pants. The cycle of abuse finally came to an end. When I reached my early 20s, I struggled to recall the specific action that upset my mother. Yet it's evident that it took very little for her to become angry with me. When she attempted to raise her hand in anger, I firmly grasped both her wrists and pushed her against the wall. I declare, "You will never eat me again," feeling no fear, only a sense of empowerment. To my astonishment, she backed down. I am not responsible for the depression and negativity that overshadowed my mother's life, and I do not owe her anything simply because she endured hardships. I did not cause her difficulties, and I refuse to carry the burden of a guilt for them. Forgiveness will never be an option for me. I just want to make some comment on this incredible, touching, moving story. Thank you, dear cousin, for sharing this story with me. It's a deeply moving and a painful account, and it takes immense courage to put this memories into words. A complex pattern of themes emerge from these your experiences you have described. The most striking element is a profound and confusing contradiction in your mother's behavior. She was a source of both crushing emotional abuse and remarkable material generosity. Your mother's own relentless struggle with depression and hunger was likely rooted in her own pain, though this in no way excuses her behavior. The violence you experienced was not an isolated event, but it was part of a generational pattern quite common in southern Italy during the 70s. The most powerful insight in your response to this legacy, you deliberately choose a different path. Your determination to smother your kid with constant love and affection is a direct and significant rejection of the emotional neglect you suffered. You didn't perpetuate the cycle. You consciously and intentionally broke it. Your narrative is not a chronicle of a pain. It's a testament to incredible resilience. You developed powerful coping mechanism to survive and eventually to thrive. I have to recognize that your refusal to forgive is a very, very sad but powerful choice. It's not about holding on to anger, but refusing to absolve someone, a person who caused you so much pain. It's an act of self respect, a declaration that you will not carry the burden of an action. Thank you so much, dear cousin. Once again, thank you for sharing this story. And I hope you are doing fine. You are living, you are living a new chapter of your life. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. The Fabiano family migrated to the United States in 1963, and this picture was taken 1 year later.